show me. Like, all right.
And so it begins.
Oh, yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Michael Butler Quarantine Butz Show. We're here live in the middle of a situation, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, D Vibes, you here with me? Put them up. You got them? Seeing you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah! What up, D Vibes?
What up, Butz?
How is a day in the life today?
Man, I have had a great day in my house. Kicking
1, 2, 3, hit me. So, I heard some of that track you were working on earlier. I'm not ready to play it now because we got the theme still playing. You know, when the theme is playing, like, we don't interrupt the theme. Because that's the great Alan Hawkshaw on keyboards. 3, 4. What were you saying, Vibes?
He's the greatest of them all, the Hawk.
The Hawk, Alan Hawkshaw. One of the great days in Butz and D-Vibe's history was the day that I actually went down this Alan Hawkshaw rabbit hole. And I guess we could start by talking about this because I don't understand why we wouldn't. Oh, my God. It's a radio show. Yeah, it's a theme. The Butz Show is back, Jack. Woo! Oh, yeah. You can hear it, Vibes?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It's good, man. This is good. We can do this. Wait, hold on. Let's just let it finish in style. Oh my God, that is just so much fun. Yeah. So welcome everybody. Okay, great. Vibes. How you living, bro?
I'm living in living color. Do what you want to do.
Okay, we were talking about the Hawk real quick. You know, there's a lot of serious business that we could get into right now, but, I figure I should just welcome you back to this format. My name is Michael Butler. I'm a guy, okay? And DeShawn here is my friend. He's a dude. And we get along, you know? Technically, he's young enough to be my son, and that was really cool. But I would have been really one of those cool, 17-year-old, oops dads in order for DeShawn to be my kid. But, it was, the first time I really was this close to someone that much younger than me. And it's a very special relationship. And I'm very happy that, I get to talk to you and we get to do this. So, D-Vibes, we had a thing we did on the radio show once. It reflected what we did in life. And I don't know about most of y'all, but we do rabbit holes, when musicians go down the rabbit hole, they go in. Sometimes they say, yo, I went in last night.
It's a necessity to go down the rabbit hole if you're a musician.
It's a necessity to go down the rabbit hole if you're a musician.
Yeah, because that's your music history right there.
And that's how you learn. There's all kinds of ways that you learn how to, do things. And, of course, you can practice your rudiments on any instrument. And that's a way you have to learn. But, some of the other ways you learn is just sort of you follow a path. And Who even knows how you go down that path? It's like it's a
You
musical
gotta
path.
listen.
Yeah, exactly. You
But-
let your ears tell you where your body wants to go. What? Tell me, Vibes.
Because you can read it, but what if the paper is gone and shredded? You can hear your way through life.
You gotta you gotta hear your way through life, like a musician does, and that's the truth, because there's a lot of ways of going about it, but it's an audio thing to begin with. I mean, we can get on that tip, but honestly, you hear your way through it all. I hire people for gigs, and they'll say things to me like, "Yeah, Butz, but I don't know any of the tunes." I'm like, you don't need to know no tunes. You just hear your way through it. As long as someone in the band knows the tunes. It's like a quorum. You need like a quorum of like two or three. You need like 2 or 3 guys, and then like a fourth and a fifth guy can phone it in. Can hear your way. It's like hear your way. Hear your way.
That's where I come in.
That's D Vibes. D Vibes can hear his way through a gig. Even if he knows the tunes, he's going to hear his way through the gig.
Yeah. Sometimes I always get put in those situations where I'm like, "Yeah, what's the tunes?" And they say, "Oh, you'll be fine. You're here."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, then." Okay. I guess,
Right. You tried to practice. They wouldn't even
don't
let
throw
you.
me the
Oh, it's
first-
cool.
Don't throw me the first solo.
You got this. Oh, right, because there won't be a second one. I mean, why should we, D Vibes, be forced to be any other way? I remember. No, I'm not even going to go into politics. I'm going to resist. The world is out there, and you know what? It's better in here. It's better in here. How's everyone doing? I got my comments over here, I think, in real time. Like, Lammy, can you make sure I'm seeing the people joined, but I don't know if that's staying fresh. Is that fresh? I need my fresh comments because I want to see what people are saying. Feel free to ask me questions. I'll read an article. We'll talk about something. But yeah, I'm gonna tell this story about that time that me and DeShawn found out who Alan Hawkshaw was. And,
Dude, the most epic day of life ever.
Okay, so let me. I wonder if I can even do this. Okay, wait, I got this. All right, so how many of you remember the People's Court? Right. I think this is it right here. Okay, you're not going to hear it. You're not going to hear any of this, Vibes, and this is a real shame. But
that's okay. Yeah, I remember.
All right, wait. Oh, yeah, this is the one. This is the one. The heist. Okay, so there was a day when I was watching the TV, and Kevin Durant had a commercial, and it was Kevin Durant is an attorney at law in the People's Court, and it was to the People's Court theme, and they held the theme just a little into the fade out, and this sort of whacked out okay, at this point I can refresh your memory for people who don't know that. I've got it here. I think this is it. No, right. It's called The Heist. Right. So I found. I was like, oh, how do I figure out what the People's Court theme is? It turns out the People's Court theme comes from a soundtrack album for another show called The Hanged Man, and that's actually where I discovered the theme that I use for my show is the theme from The Hanged Man, and it's an English TV show that had The Heist was the incidental music that they used for the People's Court. Here it is.
Yeah.
If everyone knows that, yeah. So I'm playing it behind me right now, Vibes. We haven't figured out how to have Vibes hear me yet. We'll get there. We're setting up on the fly, people. And you all remember this. This is so classic because it it's one of the biggest bongo breaks of all time. Bongo Fury, whoever that guy is.
Bongo Fury.
He's on the track. I don't know. No, that. But sometimes you hear something and you're like, wait, here we go. Bongo Fury. Bongo Fury. Wait a minute, Vibes. Too nasty for a theme. It wasn't meant to be the theme. Ladies and gentlemen, Judge Wapner. Pew. Yeah.
See?
So, this is all pretty familiar with the theme there. Dun, 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 dun. So, yeah, and Bongo Fury. And then there's this. I'm like, yo, there's synth in this track? Who would be this mad genius who started playing this synth in the back of this? Okay. So that's how this all started. You know what I mean? And then I ended up, okay, so Vibes. I turned the music down there. So come on back to me. Yeah, that was the clue. And, and just to sum it up, it's like I found out that this guy was like, had all these like random fusion tracks and was part of like doing, and on top of that, before I even get to the fusions, this guy is a legend. He is the organ player that the band, the Mohawks, was named after. And the Mohawks actually have the song that has been sampled the most in hip-hop history. And guess what? That's Alan Hawkshaw that they sampled. Yeah. If you all remember this song, Vibes, here it comes.
Slam! Oh, I hear that. I can hear that.
Yeah, you can hear it. Champ!
You can't not hear that.
Yeah, that's Alan Hawkshaw on the organ right there. The Hawks. Mohawks. Alan Hawkshaw. Hawk. He's the Hawk.
The Hawk.
So, anyway, we found that one out. And what about this one? I think my favorite off of that album, by the way, is Beat Me Till I'm Blue. And it goes like, oh, that. Anyway, so that's some serious stuff. When he was in this band, we learned, you want to know why, is because after a lot of what we did, we tracked him down. And we got to interview him.
Yeah.
And we found out that this guy, back in those days, had already been on television and, would go out, new young English artists. Of course, he was a cat in the scene in England. He's an English dude. And, he told me one day at breakfast, a young cat named John Lennon once asked him what it was like to be on television.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn. And all of that from the outro, The People's Court. So, I mean, I don't know, but you hear something sometimes, you know what you hear. And I heard something that day, and I went down a rabbit hole, and I brought D Vibes into it. And then we found all this, like, 70s stuff he did, like, in a duo group. And that's going to be the sound bed coming up for the rest of this segment.
Him and Brian Bennett. KPM Music Library series.
Some of the best music I ever found was like this library background music series. What is this? KPM English. It's an English duo series. It's like, or just they have like lots of different records of just simple fusion-y sound beds. This is library LP synthesis. And this is one of my favorite songs ever. It's called Alto Glide. It's just an instrumental vibe in the background. Anyway, yeah. I love these days. I want to harken back to a time when I could leave my apartment. I almost feel like I'm really disappointed I have to break character and stop just talking about music. I mean, it's sort of frustrating. Yeah.
I mean, we cannot stop talking about music.
Oh, we're gonna keep talking about music, D Vibes. You ain't got to worry about that.
In times like this, the voice of the musician and the creative is the most important to keep spirits alive and to keep people together. For
real.
It's like you play a very, very serious part in what goes on in the world spiritually. Like musicians, you have a big part in what you do. I mean, you are healing for a lot of people. A lot of people look to you to relieve their problems. They've had a bad day. They're coming to your show at the end of the week. having problems with the girl or problems on their job, they're coming to your show.
If any one person does that, and I can make any one person, that is always the bottom line for a career in entertainment is, you have to say to yourself, if you can improve one person's day, like once, then it was not in vain. You were not in vain for setting down this path.
That's what we're supposed to do it for. But, we do fight against ego of self, because we all want to be the greatest there is, and sometimes when we get to those parts, that's when we forget about the music, because when you're focused on, like, being better than someone, then, like, honestly, someone can chop you up, like, on stage. It happens.
That's right.
It happened.
I saw someone say, like everyone's going to talk about like this and that and about the quarantine, but like I know some of y'all MFs out there should be shedding. Could be taking this time to practice your instrument.
I mean, dude, and all the live videos are great, and I'm glad that you're doing that, but shed.
Well, you could shed. You could shed in conjunction with a live video. You know what I mean? Like. You could actually, work on it all day and then go live. What's happening?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's sharing. Yeah, feel free to share the quarantine party.
I want people to practice, but I want people to practice the pocket. Can we get more pocket players at the end of this?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
More pocket players, not a lot of notes.
I gotta tell you, Vibes. I have a nephew. Okay, my nephew is playing drums. Okay, he has learned the pocket. It's like my brother's first lesson to him was "When the Levee Breaks" by Led Zeppelin, which is just basically like a go cat go cat go, and whatever it is. It's just the idea is you play a beat and you sit in that beat and
don't play nothing.
Like,
I don't want to hear nothing else.
Like Vibes, I know that, you had this very real upbringing like that. If you all didn't know D Vibes, like D Vibes has been like playing music in public since he was like 2.
Yep.
Like, I'm not even making it up. I mean, like, why don't you like break it down for the people, just like how far it goes, because you know what's going on. Like, when was the first time you actually had an actual gig? What was your first gig?
I was playing at my church at the age of 3.
3 years old. And what did they have you doing?
I was playing drums.
He was playing drums, folks.
I sang at my mom's college for like this event when I was 4 years old. They gave me like a solo. It was at CU Boulders in this big auditorium. And I sang a solo. I was like 4 years old,
That's
and then
awesome.
from there, I've been doing music ever since, my whole life.
Yeah. I mean,
whole life.
Yeah, Vibes is a keyboard player. He used to tell me this story that really caught my imagination. That on the way home from school there was an organ store, and he would go into the organ store and basically play every organ on the way home from school.
That store, man, it was right down the organ shop down on Colfax. Now it's closed.
It happens.
Dude, I played every organ in there, man. I played every organ in there. And then it was crazy because I remember the dude he called me or called my grandpa and was like, "Yo, man, you gotta come down," because they had just got the new Hammond Diversi. It was like a Diversi organ. It was crazy Hammond. It's got a couple new features. It had the new motion sound Leslie. And I went down there. I was playing that joint for hours, man. That joint was crazy. That was crazy. Yeah, man.
That was a good day.
Whew, great day, man.
So with music, it's very it's a big part of your life. I know I had a similar thing. I think I sort of got in there when I was 6. I remember we started to get the piano lessons right around then a little bit, and I remember seeing a kid on stage singing the national anthem at a school event who was like a grade higher than me, and I just remember looking at him and being like a diva and saying to myself, "Psst," like nobody asked me if I could sing the anthem. Like I could do that, and I hadn't sang a note, I think, at that point. You know what I mean? But somehow I knew I could walk up there and carry a tune. Like I don't I don't know what that was or where that came from, but it was like a diva instinct that I just sort of went with.
You do. That was Prince.
And then I think like, and this will date me somewhat, but when I there was like a elementary school talent show that I got picked to do a song. I must have been second grade, so it was like I was like 7, maybe 8 years old tops. I sang and played "Castle Walls" by Styx. Okay, "Castle Walls." That was my first tune. That was my first gig. Not a bad way to start. Not a bad way to start. And that was that. So we always trying to put a band together. You know,
Yeah.
I grew up, thought I was going to be, or focused on acting for most of my life. Didn't know, most people don't know that. But I actually, before I went to Berkeley, I went to Emerson for theater and just said, no, I'm not an actor. I'm a musician. It was clear. It was clear. It was clear the second I got to school. Do you know what the first thing I did when I got to my dorm room? Okay, Charlesgate East, right in Kenmore Square. All right, it's this crazy, ghoulish, haunted building that is that you wouldn't even believe the power of this place. But little did I know about all that when I moved in, because I was brazen AF, as they say. I literally got into my dorm room and I pulled out my keyboard, Juno 2, Alpha Juno 2, plugged it into an amp, and raged organ, like really loud. I think I was playing. I think the first thing I played was I Hope You're Feeling Better by Santana.
Oh yeah.
You know, that whole intro. I just plugged in the organ. Because I didn't have an organ at that point. Do I even have this song? Yeah, I think I do. Just because I want to hear it right now as I talk. You know, that's what I do. This is like, getting back to the Butz Show. I'm rusty. Yeah.
We're getting into it, bro.
When you move into a new building and you say, "Yo, Butz is here in the flesh, baby."
And no flesh, baby. I'm gonna invite you to this watch party. Come on. Come on, Dad.
But that really happened, and guess what happened after that? It was like 30, like a minute, like I don't know. I'm gonna exaggerate either way it goes. Like 2 minutes later, a kid came in with a bass guitar, and then 2 minutes after that, 2 guitarists came in, and I had a band and my best friends for for life. No, but yeah, I'm telling you, like it was good. It was a good way to start. The power of the power of music. I mean, it was just like the second I got to school, I knew that it was not what I wanted to be. Is not an actor. My people were the musicians, and like anyone who knows me now, it's like, look at what a choice. It's like the people that I know through the music world are just wow. It's almost like if life was a choose your own adventure. And, there's a couple, like, not all choose your adventure books have, like, the best possible outcome. You know what I mean? But it's like, in this case, well, some of them do. Like, I read one that actually had, like, an ending that was way better than the others. But that was like the curse. Remember those choose your own good, the long-winded tangent. But, yeah, like, in this case, I feel like I won because I got to know all the people I got to know through music. Including everyone. Well, I mean, okay, maybe some people I knew. This Facebook is amazing that way. There are people who have known me on Facebook since, like, before I was even in school, including family. Well, then there's your family. Your parents are on your Facebook.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I think my parents are watching. I think I saw that my dad's Facebook was active. Hey, Pops. It's me and D Vibes. Like my favorite thing is to surprise them with D Vibes, and then he sits down at the family piano and regales us with tunes, and it's a good day. So I know that they're in there.
Play P-Funk tunes at an upright piano.
There was like a week where D Vibes came to town, where he was doing several different gigs, doing several different ways, and no matter what he was doing, he couldn't stop playing. What was it? Was it the Endangered Species? I think it was.
Yeah.
I think like every song went into an endangered species. And like every song, every time, on every gig.
On every, it didn't even matter. Like I don't care if I'm in a wedding band gig. You're gonna play some P-Funk and that's it. You hire me, you're gonna have to play some funk. You know, I don't care what genre it is. You want D vibes on key, you gotta play a little bit of funk. That's how it goes. That's the end of discussion.
Yeah, pretty much.
Else. Woo!
I don't know what he was doing. Oh, maybe it was Funkadelic, I think you were playing.
Oh yeah, that song too, man. Yeah, that's my.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it was that one. But yeah, no, that's kind of what it is. It's like, listen, I don't know if you saw the preview that I did yesterday, but when we went live, it was like we're talking to D Vibes about like what happened, and he tried to do a gig in Austin, Texas, like after the NBA was canceled. It was like Thursday, he flew down for a Saturday gig, had to sit through Paul Oakenfold, which was torture, and yeah, right?
Oh my God. Man, I tell you what, man.
Yeah, so they brought him down there in the middle of a coronavirus. They brought him all coronavirus in the middle of coronavirus. They brought you down.
Everybody was militant, and then it was just like, all right, now the limit to the people is 500. Now the limit is 350. All right, I mean, like, I would still play the show for 250 people, but then again, you know what? I'm kind of glad they shut it down, man, because there's been a lot of cases, And at first, I'll say this because I've been the guy that says like, this is like a scam. But I've seen people that actually caught it. It's a virus going.
Well, but all of that aside, like, there was no reason you should have got on the plane. South by Southwest itself had already been canceled, okay? They had already canceled South by Southwest, and for some reason this one event was still going on. They did the first night and then canceled the second night. You were supposed to open for Questlove. You went down to Texas, and there was like nothing to do except watch P-Funk videos, and I was like, well, in the middle of all of this, at least somebody made some sense out of all of this situation.
Yeah, man. I didn't care. At that point, I was like, yo, man, I'm not leaving this house for nothing. Oh, man, come over, let's jam. I'm like, jam. They just put ban on people, and you talking about coming to jam. Like, there's going to be like 45, 50 people over there. Nah, I'm cool, man. I want to be healthy.
Well, dude, now it's just a question of like not even like anybody is comfortable like getting down here in Quarantine Studios with me and Lammy. It's like we're here. If anyone wants to like try to like take on our funk and like do some funk with us, like God bless you. You know what I mean? But I don't even know if anyone like, dude. It's just us from now on, Lammy. I don't know. It's just it. We're doing our damn thing over here. This is the Butz Show. It's a return. I mean, this is just what we would do. I don't know if this is like normal for you guys, but like, this is just me and D Vibes hanging out. Like I'm high, like I've been high. I've been getting high. I'm trying to maintain a good high. I think the key to surviving right now is essentially, stay really high and watch a lot of like old TV series. You know what I mean? Like watch like if you have a favorite series or you're trying to find one. Like anytime a lot of your friends tell you, oh, you need to see that series. Like, and you're like, oh, yeah, man, yeah, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to do that. Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, no, it's on my list. It's on my list, and I'm going to get around to it. So, yeah. So you know how many times that happens, and I already mean it. Like, but I'm actually going to start watching a lot of the shows on my list. Like, what is that one? Hunters with Al Pacino, Netflix. Like, everyone's been telling me I should see that. I'm going to see it. I'm going to see a bunch of other ones. I'm up for suggestions, so you can feel free to leave them in the comment section. I'm trying to keep a monitor on that, but it's not easy. Say hi to me. It's nice to be here. I just want to provide something to do that like takes your mind off any of this madness. I mean, I hear all kinds of rumors about this and that. I'm not going to respond to any rumors about like, are we going to maintain status quo here in Boston or like they're going to go San Francisco on us. I mean, they just might, wait, hold on. I want to hear a little Funkadelic while I deal with all this. While I process, because this is a process. Let's see.
This is a process, but that's a perm.
Thank you for that, Vibes. He always knows when I'm searching for like a tune and like when to carry the football. And speaking of football, like we didn't. What am I? Yeah. Oh, it's so weird when I see. Yeah. Okay. Never. You'll never understand what I see here.
Did it today. He signed with the Buccaneers.
Yeah, he sure as hell did sign with the Buccaneers. How did I end up in the middle of that song? There it is. Yeah. Oh, that's why. I see. Okay. Good. Anyway. So we're back. I'm looking to try to maybe get some call-ins or something like that. If anyone listening knows me well enough to call me, give me a call. I'm not putting up the call-in number just yet. Well, you know what? Because you know what it means is I have to dump D Vibes.
If you know my number, call me.
Yeah, call me. I'm not putting out my number, so. If you know me, if you want to be on my show, just like get to know me. Or I mean, I guess you. I don't know. I think we can sort of do twin audio through the Facebook video chat, right? Like if I do it on my phone, we can do a group chat. Maybe we can make something work. If you can add someone, if you can do a chat and then add someone to it, is that, or do you have to establish that it's a multi-chat from the beginning? Vibes. That's Vibes department. Like Vibes, like hits me up with like him and a buddy, and he's like, "Yo, Butz, I got this dude here."
All right, hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna go get me somebody. Oh wait, so that's Rohan doing it. Well, I mean, I can say hi, Rohan. I mean, I think we lost D Vibes. Yo, what you doing, bro? Welcome to Quarantine Nation.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, man. So, we got no shows to go to. For those of you who don't know, Rohan comes to all the shows. And he is just, like the brother of brothers to all. And my favorite person, without question, to take my set break smoke breaks with. And we are like the two single judges of every Barely Dead joint rolling competition. Everyone, Rohan, everyone wants to get in on the judging action, but they can't. They're not going to let them, okay? It's ours. I smoke the joint. I pass it to Rohan. He smokes the joint. He passes it to me. Agreed. Dude, you are the man. I mean, is this blow or what? There's no Barely Dead Wednesday tonight. Didn't we do it? Was that not like a fair, quarantine like Wednesday? I think the streak is still alive. I vote yes. Yeah. Yeah, see, I don't know. For those of you who don't know, I play in a band called Barely Dead. I sing with them. We do a gig every Wednesday at Thunder Road in Somerville. And the gig's been going on for years, and the band, despite whatever we may have planned, and, God knows there may come a day, but for the time, as it is, but like we have made it. No matter what we're doing, we play every Wednesday, period.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I that's the way we do it. So, honestly, it's been quite a thing. Hey, Rohan, I'm going to go back to Vibes, but I love you, and thanks for tuning in. And, I'm going to find a way to, I don't know, if there's any way I can get to you and we can do a J, or we can each do our own joint, you know what I mean? Because that's how it's got to be these days. I'll stand 6 feet away. I'll stand 6 feet away from you, okay, and we'll smoke our own joint. You know what I'm saying? Wait, I'll be on the sidewalk, and you can be on the porch.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, word up. All right, I love you, bro. I'm going to be in touch. Thanks for calling. Well, unbelievable. It's just such a pleasure. Anyone want to get on the show? Yeah, you can hit me up through Facebook video. That's what he did. I'll get D Vibes back. That's my dude. Vibes has gone on to big success. All right, yeah, let's go get him back. mean, yeah, I hear the P-Funk in the background. What happened to Vibes? He just tried to call me. Now he doesn't. Now he's a big timer. I'm telling about to tell the world how much of a big timer he is all of a sudden now.
Yo.
There you are. All right. He's not big timing.
Hey,
folks.
yo, I got Todd Smallie on the line.
Oh, word.
Facebook.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
I'm merging the call.
Okay. Well, what do you know about that? We've got
Todd.
Yo, Todd.
Yeah.
Hey, what's happening, man?
How you doing, brother? You and I have never met.
I'm doing good, man. Well, good to meet you on the phone.
Yeah, my name is Michael Butler. They call me Butz, and
Butz.
that's
easy to remember.
yeah, it's I'm Butz, and that's D Vibes.
You know it.
Yeah.
So what I know about you is like the legend of you is that everyone who plays with you always says that man, that was like the greatest bass player I ever played with in my life.
Oh shit, man! I don't know about that, right?
But that's what they say. That's what they say.
Well,
I'm telling you,
man,
that's what they say.
Hey, well, I'm having a good time, man.
I'm a witness.
He's a witness. Yeah, Vibes is one of those guys.
Hey, well, man, I definitely had some good friends there, and as far as playing with through the years. And
Sure.
you always try to make some magic happen and do something different, with the song, and improvise something different, and don't just play the same thing that you've heard before, and it's nice to get the chance to play with musicians who are like-minded like that, and we all definitely make it happen when it comes game time, so it is fun, man. It's a good time.
Yeah, well, it's like we're at like time out right now, like game time, like versus game time. It's like
you are correct.
We had all these things going on.
I'm still working.
Yeah,
don't worry, I'm still working over here.
Yeah, so describe to the people like what your daily like shed temple is becoming, your quarantine zone.
No. Yeah, it's you're forced to pull some I don't know, pull some other things off that you don't get a chance to. It's like all of a sudden, we are stuck at home. I'm like, all right, well, I'm just playing the hell out of the bass all the time, learning a bunch of songs and, things like that. So yeah, it's just, it's been kind of nice. I got to admit, I get to run like hell. So it's kind of nice to be forced to chill out for a minute. Yeah. They're like, you don't have any gigs till the end of May with the starters. I'm like, oh shit.
Right.
I still remember how to flip pizzas, so I can probably pull that off.
Yeah, well, I think the only job they're going to let people have anymore is like delivery driver.
Yeah, really.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, delivering. I mean, I don't know, but the point is like I think everyone knows that musicians like have it like good during the quarantine because there's one thing we should always be doing, and that's practicing. And people don't.
Yeah,
do
really.
nothing.
Yeah. That's true. We get a chance to play a little more. You're kind of focused in, once you're forced to hang out, you're like, well, what the hell am I going to do? It's like, well, I'm going to play guitar and write music. So it's a nice thing.
Yeah.
So far. Call me in 3 weeks. Yeah, we'll see how I feel then.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's just me and I'm like basically quarantined in like a music studio. So it's like I'm here. It's like I got John Lammy. There's like a couple of music folk are the only ones I can come into contact. So it's like I can make the best of a situation over here.
Exactly.
So
they're safe.
When you come back online, when all these gigs come back, what's your current gig these days? Are you still playing with JJ Grey and Mofro? I think that's the last one.
I am, man. Yeah, I am. Almost 10 years with JJ, so they've flown by.
Wow, I mean that is just such a uniquely awesome gig. Just to spend some time with. It's good music.
It is, and it really is. Like outside of a lot of other things I've done, obviously Derek Trucks Band and playing with, all the degrees of separation with his buddies. It is cool, man. It's like I'm playing with, someone I've known for a long time. When I jumped on board with them, it was like we knew each other really well. We had toured together with the Derek Band. We'd hung out with Mo for a lot. All the jam band guys did.
I feel like so much.
Robert Walters, all of them.
I feel like so much comes back to that Atlanta scene. Like there's a crew of musicians that all played together back in the day, like through Colonel Bruce, and you know, it all just sort of evolved into you know, just so like the Derek Trucks with O'Teal in that era.
Absolutely. It was an incredible time to be in there in the 90s in my 20s, and yeah, it really is. No regrets of I truly did grow up in Atlanta. I grew up there 27 years. You know, like JJ says, you were born in St. Louis, but you grew up in Atlanta, and it's the damn truth. You know, and I'm very fortunate there. Incredible timing to be there in the 90s.
Incredible.
And not kidding me. The East Coast and the Southeast in general, yeah, it was a real big birth of the music scene. You know, that part of the music scene in the 90s. So.
Yeah, and you know what? Something that I found so ultimately profound about the way everything went down, like literally, if this break in the action for music and performance and celebration and get-togethers signifies any sort of like, you know, break between chapters in music history, and certainly represents its own chapter in music history. You know, it's, to me, it's just so ultimately profound. And I haven't really gotten to speak about this with many people yet, but that the last sort of show that we actually got to have in a large number anywhere was the Allman Brothers 50th anniversary concert.
I know.
Like that actually went down, and I can't believe it did, and yet it did, and I can't imagine if that had been canceled. Like there was all this heartbreak yet to come, but that was like the one heartbreak that no one could take, and yet it went down like it had to. And then after that, sort of was the last single act that sort of sealed the chapter that had come before it, before we went into this hiatus.
True.
Like I don't know if you got to go to that show, or I don't know if.
I wish I did. I wish I did with everything going on lately, and just life in general. I really did try to make it. Actually, I tried to make some plans at the end of January to get out there when I heard it was happening.
Right.
And I came really, really close, and just could not do it. I wish I would have, though. You know, and it's like, you keep reading of everything online of what went down. You know, incredible. And you're not kidding. After all the heartbreak that the brothers have been through,
unbelievable.
Starters, it was nice to see that get pulled off and not canceled amid all this.
Yeah, I mean, and plus, like, and just the fact that, this whole, like, crescendo of activity that went all the way up to the end before, like, the plug got collectively pulled. Yeah. I mean, on our own end, I'm in a band called Barely Dead, and we had a live stream, or rather, we have a Wednesday night residency that we do, and we decided, like, the Wednesday, I think maybe that was the Tuesday before the Wednesday, the Allman Brothers show. That went off. The next day, we had our own thing, and we just sort of decided, it's not responsible to do our residency, so let's look into doing a live stream. We were doing a video shoot, so at the time, before our residency, and then we just decided to transform it into a live stream and do our gig from there. And it was just like, we didn't know what was about to happen, that everything was really just going to get shut down. Like the NBA got canceled in the middle of our gig. Like that hadn't happened yet. You know what I mean? I'm like getting texts in the middle of the thing. I'm like, hey, guy, like, wow, Rudy Gobert is making jokes. And then I get a text later that says, by the way, he's got COVID. I'm like, this is crazy. I mean, and I'm trying to sing a gig here to no audience. And so it just got real really quick, but yet the night before, that was it. So, I'm really glad that they got that show off. That's all I have to say, because it was just important for the healing process for everyone involved.
Oh, God, you're not kidding. Yeah, and all the greats involved with that show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it would have been a real bummer to see that get postponed, because anything that gets postponed now is definitely put off for a long time.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder about the big reboot in everyone's like booking calendar. Is like, I'm wondering if there's like, these hustlers are like moving in on like on the venues and being like, my band can play like like all of these dates. Like if there's like a feeding frenzy at the booking agents, like is hungry hippos snatching up gigs once they come back. Which we're gonna be hungry.
I want to impose a musical draft. Everybody's a free agent.
Oh, that's right. Let's start over.
I am a Yeah, dude. Doing a musical draft. You know?
Yeah, no, people are doing things like that now. Like I saw that like somebody had like one of the basketball players, Spencer Dinwiddie, came up with like a revised way to finish the NBA season, which is not to like jump back into like the way it was and just maybe like do like a March Madness style like tournament bracket with like all the teams and give them all a shot at the title. Run them one-offs all the way through and just let it be that.
That's a good idea.
And it's kind of neat. I think I'd rather. I'm such a purist about like this type of thing. Like like I don't like it. Like a pitch clock, like in baseball. Like they're trying to implement all these random. I don't want them to implement anything. It's a game. Leave it the way it is. That's like
it is.
Right. So, but like this could be neat. We have to think about all kinds of new solutions to these problems. So, like, if it means like we need to redraft bands to make things more interesting the next time around. I know Vibes wants you to be a free agent. Vibes is like getting you in his top first, second, or probably second round. He's not letting you go past the second round.
No, man, I can't let that go down.
Hey, me neither, man. Shit.
Yo, that's my dude D Vibes right there. He's a force to be reckoned with.
You're not kidding, man.
I mean, I don't know.
You're not kidding.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen him with like backwards guitar, like shirtless while crowd surfing.
I have. Not at Beyond Keys, though, unfortunately.
That'd be on keys, man. But
man.
Usually funky, dude. We got pretty funky last week for the last Wednesday night.
It was, man.
Oh yeah. So are you a part of D Vibes Watermelon Funk Wednesdays in Denver?
That's it. Majority of them, man. When I'm lucky to be home.
Oh, what a treat! Like we have a nice funk tradition in Boston, a place called Wally's.
Oh man, dude. Oh, you're not kidding. I've been there many times over the years.
Yeah,
absolutely. And absolutely.
That's kind of where everyone learns how to, like stretch out and like, like sort of.
You know it, man.
What's that? Oh, I see.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I love that. It's kind of the cool thing, all your buddies split off from high school. One of your buddies goes to Berkeley, one buddy goes to UNT, one buddy goes to UNF, one goes to Athens, whatever. They all study their music programs and I'd get out there. I would drive to New Orleans and to Denton, Texas, and see a buddy of mine out there from high school. And, you'd hit those kind of areas. And same thing when we went up to Boston with Derek's band. They're like, you guys got to come out to Wally's. And that's where you'd hear the guys playing, Thrust album and shit like that. And you're like, fuck yeah, they're playing all the tunes that you loved, like it was a pop band or something, but it was all, Herbie and George Duke and, shit like that. So yeah, I love Wally's, man. That's a great spot. I miss, I love Boston, man. What a great city, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
good time there. Hello, man.
I would have left.
Definitely.
I would have left if it made any sense, but it doesn't. It's like I'm a part. I'm a part of it here. I almost feel like I think I lost everybody. All right, well we'll get them back in a second. Just cut out, but yeah, no. Wally's, if you don't know, it's a very special place. Mass in Columbus. It's responsible for what we talk about. Like before, there was the quarantine. There was well, no, you don't even worry about it. He's gonna call me back on I think he did. Oh, yeah, I think he's doing a conference. You can conference. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, Wally's is like a place where before there was the quarantine. And as a all right,
hold on.
Yeah, you work it all. We'll get you back. Yeah, I mean, I'll get to that point with the fellas. I hope you're enjoying the interview. We're on the phone with DeShawn Alexander.
Don't cut the internet off.
Yo,
you're gonna watch the world go really crazy then.
Seriously, dude, you never know. It's
Shut
like
down the Facebook machine.
Well, I haven't heard any official word, but I thought that they're supposed to they're not supposed to shut off any services. I'm waiting for the word when it's okay. Okay, no more rent, no rent for 2 months, no bills for 2 months. I'm waiting for official word on this, and I'm just this was I'm trying not to make light of the situation, but musicians, like we said before, we're sitting pretty in the middle of this quarantine because I don't know. Like, you have nice gigs. You know, you're a working guy. You know, I'm sitting next to another working guy. But, you know, like, you know, right now nobody's a working guy, and this is kind of what my life is like. But, you know, like, anyway.
This is a time where you can become, like, the best on your instrument. If you just step.
That's right.
Yeah. Can you?
Yeah, really, it's the truth.
Yeah. Can you?
There's like, I mean, there's no excuse right now. I'm sorry, nobody has a gig.
You know, and it's funny because I also found out that, like, see, we were planning on doing our Wednesday residency again as a live stream, but because of the countdown in, like, suggested gathering sizes was just shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And, like, wherever that curve was going, we were planning on, like, setting everything up. So we were, you know, procuring our own, because the guy who was, shout out to Herb Mersiglio, but, you know, he'd be here with us working this live stream, but, you know, he's not feeling well. I mean, we're losing people, you know, like, so you know, like, you know, we don't know who's feeling what, but, like, you know, I had my last location, you know, like, they're not, you know, like, there's, like, things going on there too. So the other thing is that, so yeah, we're here, and I don't know, we're trying our best to make a good thing happen. I don't know, but let's see.
Oh, it's true, man. Hopefully we'll be able to pull more things together with the stream stuff and all that. A lot of people have jumped on it already. You know,
well, that's
definitely be cool to make it happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, is because we went looking for all the gear in the interim, and we were going around to all these stores, and all the webcams have been bought. Period.
Yeah.
So
it's on.
It's on. Yeah.
Do you guys think at a time like this, with a lot of bands going live, do you think this will impact, like, people wanting to go see them at their shows? Because, like, the first shows back, right, they have to be the most epic shows ever. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
And you're watching some of these bands on like some of the live streams, and, like, you can kind of, like, weed them out before, like, you know, before like go out, like.
Yeah, I was going to say, even before, we knew that it was really going to get this extreme over here, when I did that live stream to, like, I felt an energy with me that I couldn't even place. It was just this, like, this profound, like, sadness and anger sort of rolled into one, that, like, I was forced into this sort of format, and that I now, you know, can't have that close contact that we all do this for with the people who you're playing music for. You know, it's like
yeah, it's true.
It's just whatever that is. It's
definitely.
Yeah, please.
No, you definitely reflect on that. I know. I thought of it too. You just don't think of something like this impacting crowds getting together, and then it's definitely over with for the entertainment industry and the sports industry and anything with, gatherings, and now it's shrinking and shrinking. Yeah, you're not kidding. It's to the point, where even doing the house thing, you can only have 20, 30 people together. It's pretty amazing, man. Pretty extreme right now. Hopefully it pays off, is the whole point. I've been trying to do my part. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, well, me and Lammy over here are, like, becoming wizards when it comes to, like, video streaming programs, like, one day at a time. Like, we're far from wizard right now, but we're becoming wizards. That's the thing, is that we're becoming wizards. But we're forced to learn this stuff, so something comes out of it. Definitely something comes out of it.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Well, DeShawn, if I don't come back playing some serious shit on our next Wednesday, then, I've been sitting around playing online poker for 2 months. 2 months of online poker.
Yeah. You'll know. He's going to show you. It'll be like, even like 30 seconds in, he's going to shoot you a look to his left.
Exactly. Yeah, you ain't playing shit. What happened to you? You lost your superpowers.
He's mortal.
He's mortal.
You unlock like that next level. Right? I think you'd be okay.
Shit. Yeah, man, I'm trying to. I'm ripping off the internet big time, man. There's so much on there to learn from. It's incredible. And you start digging into different guys. You know what I've been listening to is the Yellow Jacket.
Oh, sure. Why not? Why not?
Man, holy shit.
That's first.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
man.
you got time. See, that's
a great
perfect. You
album.
got time for the Yellow Jackets in quarantine. Like, you might not have listened
Yeah,
to them in a
right.
long time, but it's like, you know what?
Well,
I'm gonna pull out. Yeah, I'm into it.
Well, I wanted to hear Felix Pastoris, so I started
Right.
listening to their new album, and unfortunately, he's not on it.
Oh, geez.
But
right.
yeah, but I got turned on to a new bass player that I hadn't heard of. Dane Alderson, I believe is his
Okay.
name, from Australia. Really incredible talent, definitely.
Yeah.
Really, really nice stuff. I love Matt Garrison and guys in that realm too, and he's definitely right along with him and Tony Gray and all those guys. So
Yeah, I mean those guys
Good
like
stuff.
were hitting extra heavy. Like it was you could just sort of know
Yeah.
like there was sort of like the pre-smooth jazz era, but they were like much tighter than your average band like that. They sort of blurred the line between jazz fusion and like funk and like even what would become smooth jazz.
Yeah. I've always been a fan of theirs. I definitely dug into the first album when that came out, and I remember, God, I was in high school and stuff like that. But I always love Jimmy Haslett, and have been lucky to get to know Felix over the years, thanks to Jeff Sipe and Coffin, and all those guys.
Sure.
And I don't know. I'd always dug into those guys. I like their evolution. They always seem to do something a little different every couple of years. They're like, all right, we're gonna take an album from this angle and that angle, and I like it. I like because they haven't stayed the same. You listen to a Yellow Jackets album every 3 or 4 years, it changes.
Right.
Pretty heavily on the arrangement side
Yeah.
and their focus and what they're going for.
Well, even
cool.
like some of the best artists of all time, like a guy like Prince, you can reach into the grab bag and never know exactly what you're going to come up with. You know what I mean?
Really.
Sometimes with like
No kidding.
with
Depending
tunes.
on the 3-year, 4-year era, what he was evolving into or out of.
or which track on the album like he was upset while recording, what I mean, and took it out on his listeners, because he does that sometimes.
Yeah, really.
There was like an album I think called Chaos and Disorder, which I think there's like a couple good songs on it that are deliberately like solid, but for the most part I think he was just blowing through tunes because it was technically his last album for Warner Brothers. So like it just does, it has this sort of like edgy, caustic sort of like, is it over yet sort of feel to it. But that even makes it cool. It gives it a certain virility. Like I don't know, like one of my favorite stories about a record is the Marvin Gaye "Hear My Dear" story. I don't know if you know. The origin of that one. It's just like he was forced to, in a divorce settlement with Anna Gordy, Berry Gordy's daughter. He was married to. And that's a big mistake. I don't know, right? You're not supposed to marry your boss's daughter, especially when he's got mob ties and is like, one of the most like singularly powerful people in your community.
Are we being recorded right now?
No. Right. Well, wasn't that the whole thing? Like, you're not supposed to insult Berry Gordy on national radio. That's like that was the thing. That was Petey Green got in trouble that way. I can't. You called Berry Gordy a pimp. He's like, he is a pimp.
Career over.
Yeah. So Marvin, had a little splitsky with Anna Gordy, but so they worked out this. They worked this settlement out where like part of the deal was that he had to write an album for her and about her. Like, and I believe she would get the proceeds. It was like part of like, but I want you to make an album about me.
That's right.
For me. And that's real. And so he did it, and he simply called it "Hear My Dear." But what she didn't bargain on was like, it's the most like brilliant work of art. It's the most honest record of a man just sort of like saying, here, like, here's the good and the bad. Here's everything. I'm going to write this about you, but like, I'm going to tell the truth, and I'm not going to be like, too mean. I mean, because there was Barry out there. Like, I'm sure someone raised an eyebrow at him at some point.
Yeah, really.
I don't know how that went.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the one. I actually went off air with a track from that, and I'm probably getting ready to get off air in a second. So I'll probably just wrap it up here with you. But I mean, thank you so much for joining us here. It's what a pleasure. I mean, like I said, like
Thanks for having me, guys.
D Vibes, and then Schmeens I was talking to. Like I think he played with you through Vibes not too long ago and was just like, "Yo."
Oh man, those guys are the fucking best, man. They're always been cool as hell, man. I've been so lucky to meet all of them through Krasno and Soul Live guys for years. Schmeens and Deitch and Zoidus, all them, man. They're great. Jesus, man. Great guys, man.
Absolutely.
They are incredible musicians, definitely. Always enjoy playing with them, man. Hopefully we make that happen soon, you know.
Oh yeah, let's get back on the street as soon as possible.
Hey, we will, man. It seems like everyone's pulling it together, you know, and like, you know, we got no choice but to stay home now. You know, there ain't nothing to do.
Yeah, well, that's it. So, like, you know, while we're home, I feel like it is a good time. I used to do this radio show. Can you believe that I had a radio show where I used to D Vibes was my roommate. And I used to take him with me, and we would just spend like the first part of every day in a radio studio together and listen to music, get lit, you know, like take it easy, you know, from like 10 a.m. to like 1 p.m. We would take it easy.
Oh, that's killing, man.
We would talk this talk, and we would bring cats into it and see how they felt about it, you know. So thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me. You'll be happy to know when D Vibes called me, my wife and I were sitting in the living room. We figured we'd set up the dartboard in the living room and crank the vinyl. Nice. So I've been playing like, you know, just rocking out some George Duke and Miles and stuff. Yeah. And then you guys called. Vibes was like, come on, get on the phone. I was like, oh, okay, here we go.
Well, I appreciate that. Get right back into the vinyl and darts because it seems like you got quarantined right, but I'm so glad you spent some time with us.
Exactly. I'm just letting y'all know, don't worry. I'm okay over here, man. I'm going to make it, man.
Word
But give me a call in about 20 days and see if I haven't lost my fucking mind.
Yeah.
My wife will answer the phone and say, yes, Todd's here. Let me get him out of the pine tree out in the front yard.
Yeah. Dude,
he's up at the top.
It's going to be like 28 days later over here, 28 days later, I'm pretty sure.
That motherfucker lost his mind.
Oh, man. Well, thank you, bro.
Hey, man. Hey, thanks for having me. Great catching up with you guys, man. You know, we'll be back in action soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, bass player extraordinaire, Todd Smallie.
You rock. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you.
Bro.
Hey, love you, brother. Talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
Peace out.
Peace out, guys. On the one.
Boom. Wow. So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, that was, dude, Vibes, nice job, okay? Nice freaking job, okay? He did his job. He did it right, folks. What a get. You know, we're just out here. We're trying to get people to come in and talk to us. You know, just trying to have a little fun here. Get a little sense of normalcy going. You know, it's that thing. I was talking about it in the debut. Was like of the format was just, you know, it's like we're fighting for that illusion of normalcy. It's amazing what the human mind can do. We can sort of convince ourselves that everything is okay, and you know what? It is okay. I'm doing a good job, right? No, but I'm saying it's okay, right? No, like I convinced myself there for a second. No, you know, I honestly believe that, you know, it ain't no thing but, you know, coronavirus. But it ain't no thing but a chicken flu. No, but in this case, it was bats. Someone ate like you know, the wrong part of a bat, and that's why we're here.
No, they mixed it with something.
Oh, let's, you know.
It wasn't just that.
I don't know, and I don't want to know because, like, I'm not supposed to know these things. I'm not supposed to know that something like this would actually, you know, put me and you know, and Lammy in here. Like, the only person I get to see for, like, you know, weeks is John Lammy. You know, listen, I'm lucky, bro. I am having the time of my life quarantine here with you, for real. I'm just keeping it real. Me and Lammy are like doing the Lord's work here. With D Vibes, you know, it's so good to have you back with me, you know, like in this format. But you know what? I think I'm going to play the time to go music, right? Let's just See, he remembers, folks. It's time to go. Let's get it going on here. Oh, look at that. Wouldn't you know it? What are you showing me? Aardvarks? Oh, pangolins? Wait, I'm doing my wrap-up music, and you're showing me pangolins? These are the pangolins. Listen to this headline. The pangolins are a prime suspect. Mystery. Wait, no. I want to read the whole headline, okay? But put the scroll there. Mystery deepens over animal source of coronavirus. Pangolins are a prime suspect, but a slew of genetic analyses have yet to determine conclusive proof. Pangolins, dude. Yo, I thought it was strange to eat. No, eating a bat is not strange next to these pangolins, dude.
Eating a bat?
Yeah. Yeah, what's up? No. All right, whatever. All right, I'm going to start my wrap-up music again because we're going to do this right. All right, you ready? Here we go. And those of you who don't know the show, like, this is actually the thing I do the most on the show, which is restart my wrap-up music. Because I like to do all right, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the Michael Butler Show. Whatever it may be. It used to be a midday show. It used to be a morning show. It used to be Decks and Butts and afternoon sessions. It used to be, a show where I was with D-Vibes. We used to talk about it. But right now it's a special quarantine edition. I'm stuck up here, Sound Museum building. It's great because it's like back in the day when I used to do radio at a Sound Museum building. So it's like, some things are meant to be. And it's like, when things get crazy, you have to, volunteer for service. Like, I didn't want to have a political show. I was going to say this at the beginning of the show, and I said, no, F it. I'm not going to have a political show. But in the beginning of, the whole situation there, it was like I had a musician show. Today was more or less what the show used to be like. And then all of a sudden, Donald Trump ran for office. And then I was like, and then I saw like what happened at a rally, like an early clip. I got a glimpse of what the tenor of those rallies were, and I was like, oh, this ain't good. Okay. And no one really got it until like we got further along in the season. It's just like, oh yeah, Trump, well, he's not going to win, but like it doesn't matter. It's like people are having way too much fun at his rallies, doing like horrible things and saying terrible things and representing things that lead to mentalities that sharpen and mold and crystallize and become like that crazy white people march. I don't know what that was. What was that march in North Carolina? And I don't know. Where there was great people on both sides. Like, I don't know. It leads to that sort of bullshit. So, I mean, I knew that then, and I was like, well, I have a radio show. I don't know who listens. See, if you're not paying attention, I just restarted my outro music again. So, yes, once again, we are saying goodbye here at the Michael Butler Quarantine Show at Quarantine Studios. See, yeah, it's not to me. It's studios plural, even though it's one studio. That's what it is. It's studios. It's Quarantine Studios. It's a megaplex, okay, that we're shut in. Okay, it's a quarantine zone. Yet it's a megaplex. Okay, you want to be here? No, you don't. Okay. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. But honestly, I can't even remember what the hell rant I was on. This was Donald Trump. He sucks. We might not have been quarantined quite so much as vigorously as this if he had taken this more seriously. And it really does, in my opinion, fall on his shoulders personally. When he said to the media, no, I don't take responsibility for any of this. Well, you goddamn well should, because it's your mess. You're the president. You're the one who fired everyone in the early response office in 2018. We would have had a whole infrastructure in place that you wouldn't even had to know existed. They would have been what what I mean? What was that Pulp Fiction? They would have been on the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like they would have been like the wolf. You wouldn't even known that they were working. They would have been they would have had like test kits. We all would have been good. They would have shut the airports down initially. They would have done all kinds of things. Well, listen, all right. I'm gonna have to restart my outro music again. All right, one more time, and this one's for keeps. We're doing it for keeps. Fuck it, we're doing it live. D-Vibes. Once again, it is such a pleasure to get back to this whole thing called the Butz Show. I mean, we used to do this, and we did it just to do it because it was a great way to start the day, and it brought people together. I want to thank Todd Smallie for calling in, joining us on air. What a class act. I hadn't gotten a chance to meet him yet, but everyone wants to tell me how great he is. So you know what? I now understand. I haven't been in like that in the vortex with him, but like I already know he's the man. I mean, and cheers to you, sir. Enjoy darts and George Duke is like a way to spend every day. And be creative with your quarantine. That's what I'm trying to tell you, people. Like, go out there. Don't go out there, but like, get out there in your house and in that living room of yours. Get onto that rug and twist it. You know what I'm saying? Like, turn up the music and dance. Like, if I could play tunes over this platform, I would, but they shut you down. And I tried to play a little bit of an outro tune. They like say, "Yo, I heard that Marvin Gaye." You think I didn't hear that Marvin Gaye? Facebook said to me, I heard that Marvin Gaye. You know what I mean? So, like, they sent me the message. I'm like, all right, I get it. But you don't know the Hawk, do you, Facebook? So, anyway, thanks for tuning in. D-Vibes, love you, bro. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands with soap. It's good enough.
And water.
If you ain't got no, soap will do. Trust me, it's better than everything else. Anyway, thank you all. Vibes, peace. Everyone else, maybe I'll talk to you tomorrow. That's the hope. Same time, same Butz channel. Peace.